If you had to bet your entire life savings on a game of blackjack, would you have any clue what to do? In today's video, we're going to teach an artificial intelligence to play the game of blackjack. So if you're not familiar with it, blackjack is a game played in a casino where the dealer and the player compete to get to a score of 21. If you go over 21, you lose. If the dealer hits 21, he wins. You can either accept, you get dealt a card, you can either accept another card or stay where you are if you think that your score is better than the dealer's, meaning closer to 21. You can also get to see one card from the dealer, so there is a little bit of information about the opponent's hand. Fortunately, the OpenAI Gym has coded in the blackjack environment, so we're going to be using that to take a look at Monte Carlo control without exploring starts. So if you're not familiar with it, Monte Carlo control deals with systems in which we do not have a model of the environment. Once again, a model means that we do not know the state transition probabilities. We don't know the state transition probabilities in the game of blackjack because the deck is infinite. It is always replenished, so counting cards doesn't get you anywhere. So even if you kept perfect track of every card that's been played, that has no bearing on the next card to come up. So you don't know what you're going to get next. So it is a model-free type problem, and it is highly amenable to Monte Carlo solutions. And if you're not familiar with them, in Monte Carlo solutions, we simply learn the game by playing. You can kind of see the cat here making an appearance. It's kind of funny. Okay, so let's dive right into the code. I don't have any slides for you. That's kind of boring. Let's just get right to it. Typical stuff: import gym, import numpy, make your environment. We're going to be using an epsilon of 0.05 for Monte Carlo control without exploring starts. So the idea here is that we have a single policy that we use to explore the state action space, and we are going to use epsilon greedy to pick our actions with a decaying epsilon over time. We're going to use something called a Q function to approximate the agent's estimate of future rewards. A gamma of 1.0 because this is an undiscounted task. The rewards are always certain. The OpenAI Gym blackjack environment is set up such that the space is fairly straightforward. So you have an agent sum space, which is the cards in the range 4 to 21, excuse me. So when I was reading over the documentation, I had some debate about this. So the documentation actually has spaces, a discrete space with 32 elements. So it's a little bit debatable. We may be missing some portion of the state space of the solution, but it's not really going to be that big of a deal because, well, we're not playing it in a casino. So the idea here is the observation vector from the OpenAI Gym returns the sum of the player's cards, the card that the dealer has showing, with 1 being an ace and 10 being a face card. There's also whether or not the player has an ace. So if you have a usable ace, meaning that if you have an ace, it can be either a 1 or an 11. So you can win right off the bat by getting an ace and a face card to hit 21. The action space is 0 or 1, which it represents either stick or hit. Stick means you don't take a card. Hit means give me a card. Next thing we want to do is initialize our variables. So we have the agent's estimate of future rewards. We have a list for the state space, a dictionary to keep track of returns, as well as another dictionary to keep track of the state and action pairs visited. You want to iterate over all of the elements of the state space, construct tuples out of those, set the agent's estimate for the state action combinations to 0. The returns should also be set to 0 for those same state action combinations. And the pairs visited, this is just going to be used to keep track of how many times we visit the particular point in state and action space. All of those get set to 0, and we're going to go ahead and make a list for our state space, which just leaves off the action. The reason for that is we have to come up with a policy. So a policy just tells the agent what to do for any given state. So we want to iterate over that state space, and we're going to start out with a totally random policy, random equiprobable. So it's going to select either stick or hit with 50% probability. We're going to play 1 million episodes, and at the top of each episode, we want to initialize an empty list to keep track of the states, actions, and returns, as well as an empty list to store the agent's memory of the episode. I like to print out a placeholder every 100,000 lines or so, and at the top of each episode, you want to reset your environment as well as your done flag to false. To play the game, you simply select an action based on the current observation of the environment. Go ahead and take that action using the env.step function, receiving the new observation, reward, done, and information. Then we're going to go ahead and append the constituent elements of the observation to the agent's memory. I've just split out the tuple of the observation based into its constituent elements. So we're saving the state, action, and reward tuple to the memory. So just a quick refresher, the observation vector is the player's sum, the dealer showing card, and whether or not the player has a usable ace. Then you set the, you break your code. Then you reset the observation to the new state, reset your state to the new state. And when the episode is over, you want to go ahead and append the final set of observations, actions, and reward to the memory. Next up, we have to iterate over the agent's reverse to memory and calculate the returns from those from that memory. So you want to skip the last state, so we have this last flag here. So that'll just skip the last state on the first iteration. Otherwise, you want to append the state action returns to the appropriate list. This will tell you the return that followed the agent's first visit to a particular point in state and action space. And you update the return according to this equation. It's just gamma times g plus the reward achieved for that game. When you're done, you want to go ahead and reverse that list to put it in chronological order. And that you also need an empty list to keep track of the state and action space points you visit over the course of the episode. So we go ahead and iterate over the state action returns, construct a state and action tuple out of that. We want to find out if we visited it before. If we haven't, we go ahead and increment the number of times we visited that state action pair by 1. And next up, we're going to use the incremental implementation of the update rule for the agent's estimate of the discounted future rewards. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a shortcut that saves you from calculating the average of a function every single time, because that's computationally expensive and doesn't really get you anything in terms of accuracy. The new estimate is just equal to 1 over n times your new sample minus the old estimate. So the returns for that state action pair just get set equal to 1 over the number of times it has visited that state action pair times g, which is the reward for that particular the reward that followed the first visit to that state action pair, minus the old estimate of those returns. And I just set the agent's estimate to those returns, calculate a random number, and use epsilon greedy to find the best action. One thing to keep in mind here is that there are multiple ways of calculating the argmax. So the default behavior for the NumPy argmax is to take the first element, whereas here we're going to go ahead and use a random tiebreaker. So if both actions have the same value, we'll select one at random. Otherwise, we go ahead and select an action at random and append that state action pair to the state's actions visited dictionary list. Next, we have to go ahead and decrement epsilon. So we don't want it to go negative. Otherwise, we just decrement it by some small amount such that it'll hit purely greedy by about halfway through. When you're all the way done with it, what you want to do, when you're done with the training phase, what you want to do is use a testing phase. This is kind of similar to supervised learning, where you'll provide some training set and some test set as well. So what we've done here is we've used epsilon greedy and Monte Carlo non-exploring starts control to train an agent to play blackjack. And now we want to test to see how well it is done. So rather than play 1,000,000 games, we're just going to play 1,000. Initialize an array of zeros to keep track of the rewards, total rewards, number of times it wins, loses, or draws, and go ahead and play a new set of games, keeping track of the total rewards in each game. So if you win, the reward is greater than or equal to 1. I have greater than 1 because you can get something called a natural, which means you just hit on 21 right off the bat, and that gives you a score of 1.5. So you wanted to count those as a win. So if the reward is greater than or equal to 1, you won. If the reward is greater than or equal to 1, you have won. If it's equal to 0, it's a draw. If you got a negative reward, you lost. When it's all said and done, go ahead and calculate the fraction, print it out to the terminal, and plot your rewards. So I'm going to go ahead and run that, and then we will see what we get. Oh, and by the way, while that's running, if you want the code to this, I'll put the link in the description. It's up on my GitHub. I put all of my code to all of the YouTube problems up on GitHub, so feel free to check it out. So here you can see the figure that represents the cumulative reward over the course of those 1,000 games. It's kind of hard to tell from this, but we actually achieved a 44% win rate. So let me show you the output from my terminal. One moment, please. Well, whatever. I couldn't get the stupid OBS Studio to print out to actually read my terminal, so I'm just going to go ahead and put up a screenshot. But take my word for it, damn it, it's 44%. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at the alternative to non-exploring starts, which is off-policy methods. As we've covered before, off-policy methods use two policies to learn how to obtain optimal behavior in an environment. One policy is used to explore, and the other policy is purely greedy and deterministic and set equal to the argmax of the agent's estimate of discounted future rewards. Stay tuned for that video. Hey, if you like this content, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, please consider subscribing. I hope to see you all in the next video.